NANI?!
Today we have a game from a one-man dev team, Dinkum. I had to look this one up as I'm in no way familiar with Australian slang, but the definition does seem to fit the concept of the game. James Bendon, a one-man dev team, worked on the game for 3 years, and what we have here is quite impressive. Dinkum takes inspiration from Animal Crossing. The last time I touched that game was New Leaf, which is about 10 years old now, and I can sort of barely remember it. I heard some people say Stardew Valley, which I have not played, but I was always under the impression that was closer to Harvest Moon. We start out with Fletch, who invites us to an Australian outback-type island to get out of the overcrowded city. The objective is to be recognized as a new settlement by attracting villagers. This begins one of the first things I have a problem with. A roster of villagers will occasionally visit the island. In order for them to stay, you need to run fetch quests for them to increase their relationship gauge. Usually around half to a full heart, they'll let you know they're moving in. And sometimes I feel like you have to spend some money as well to activate the conversation. The problem I have is this can take a good while to get people to move in, and there's a decent chance they'll ask you for something you haven't found or can't harvest at the moment. It really feels like it stalls progression until you can get these villagers. But when they are in, you have to build their houses as well, which mostly is easily produced Tier 1, Tier 2 items, but it also puts your town into debt, which you must pay off before commissioning further buildings. The villagers can help pay this off passively, but their rate is minuscule. And this leads to making money. And nearly everything in Dinkum can be dug up or harvested to make money, and you're going to need millions for the town. I started out grabbing every flower, seashell, log, and bug I could carry. There are larger bird nests whose eggs can be stolen and sold for a decent starting cash. Hanging around in thunderstorms may spawn a thunder egg, which can be sold for even more. Later, access to the mines can unlock unique items and rubies that sell for even more. But this late-game content that needs preparation before entering. Even here, you can run past everything, collecting chests and rubies. Using a spear to make the bats go away, and a decent store of food and a torch will help you here. Personally, I think the best overall cache is metal detecting, finding bits of scrap to repair the teleporters and late-game vehicles. I found even the most common bits of scrap, plus the rare yet decent spawn rates on amber found digging far outweigh any other type of income. In order to access treasure, we need to get a license, with license points. These can be gained from passive to active playing the game. Every day there'll be 3 goals. Also, long-term milestones for collecting X amount of items. Turning in bugs and fish to the museum will also award LP. Later, the bank can purchase LP for absurd amounts of money. This comes the next part, but I'm not a fan of. The next gate to fun. License for everything. It makes the meme feel like a reality. You do need a license for everything. Even when I have the resources to make a jet ski or a motorcycle, I can't use it without grinding thousands of points. I'm on a frigging island, out in the middle of nowhere. Australia, the most gung-ho place next to Texas, and I need a license? Passive ways only get you so far, and the endgame becomes making millions of dinks to trade in the bank for LP. It doesn't feel like too much fun. But overcoming the former, when we do get access to what the game has to offer and build up the town, it is fun. Very comfy. There's a lot of attention to detail to be had here. The seasonal chain, which changes the fish and the bugs that are out as well as the time of day, crops that can be farmed. If I walk through a campfire, unless I jump into the water, I'm in very real danger of becoming Darkman. These seem to be hundreds, if not thousands, of items in the game, constantly finding new fencing, fountains, benches, gizmos, and gadgets to make. When getting to this open sandbox stage of the game, it really is impressive that one man made all of this. Now, notice that our avatar does have health and stamina bar. There is combat in this game. Simplistic and functional, I recommend the spear. And in much the fashion to Animal Crossing, there are different fruits that can be found in the variety of biomes and planted close to home. My character survives heavily on grilled banana between harvests. A neat part about getting friendly with villagers is they can join you on their days off and help harvest and fight. Their pathing is terrible, and their actions don't always do anything, but this is potentially useful for exploring the bush. Thankfully, when the villagers are part of a town, they can help passively by watering crops, giving quests at the bulletin board that can be potentially profitable. There is the possibility of trapping animals. I have yet to use this, as most of the animal bits I need are found freely in the bush, as everything is always trying to kill each other for the sheer pleasure of it. So I guess this kinda is the authentic Aussie experience. So let's move on to what I like to see improved. Fishing. It exists. It works through bare bones. I feel like the system needs an overhaul, a different rod strength, bait to attract prey. Hopefully a future villager will include this. Getting villagers. A catalog to buy stuff from the mainland till you can get them, or rethink the process of acquiring them. The license point system. I dislike it. Let the sandbox be a sandbox. Build without this grind. Let me enjoy myself. And after the mined endgame, perhaps we could have some underwater ruins to discover. There's already the possibility of pearl diving, so it would be perhaps the next logical step. So let's get to the verdict. Do I recommend Dinkum? Yes. $19.99, you get a fun, simple game for all ages. I got about 34 hours out of Dinkum so far. Though PC users won't have all the fun forever. The game is scheduled for a console release when it leaves early access, hopefully within the next year. I really do enjoy the reasonably priced passion project indie games, and I look forward to future updates. And may do additional videos if enough content comes out. Also, recently it became available for the Steam Deck, so you can play it on the go. And I think that's all we got for today.